and this is where we're going, guys. We're going to go into here. See that? Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and here we are in the MF Sport Urn, and there's Mr. Chris Youngman. You may recognise him from such places as Airgun World and the Mart if you're as old as me, and also over at Market Row at Youngman's Sport and Guns in Great Yarmouth, sadly no more. Right Chris, what have you got here for us?
Right, well here we have, this is a BSA Airsporter Mark III in 177, which is quite rare. Nearly all of them were in 22. This one was made between 1966 and 1968. It's pretty much, I would say, mint. There's one or two little tiny marks on it. Other than that, it's pretty much how it left the factory. It's got the original box, instruction manual, target holder, pellets. The only thing that is missing from the box is the little tube of oil, which unfortunately the oil used to perish the plastic, so they never did last very long. This didn't come from Armory Road. This came from the Redditch factory, and there's markings on the box, on the labelling somewhere to say where it came from, but it wasn't from Armory Road. This was pre Armory Road. The BSA had several factories. The majority of stuff comes from Armory Road, but this was prior to that. So it is a very fine piece, and it's a single piece walnut stock. It's not spliced. Automatic tap when you draw the underlever down. It has a scope rail on it, and the Airsporter logo is etched with acid on the top of the cylinder.
Well guys, that is an absolutely amazing piece of kit there. That is definitely a collector's piece for any discerning BSA fanboy out there. That is an amazing bit of kit.
The fact it's got the cardboard inserts in it, I've never seen it. This is all before my time, because I can remember the white boxes from the early 70s, but this is prior to that, so I've never seen a box like this.
To be fair Chris, that's the first one like that I've seen. So they used to come in the white box and the polystyrene.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's an amazing bit of kit.
That is, it looks like someone was probably bought it for Christmas, and it went up in the loft, and it's where it stayed. And yeah, that is quite a...
Do you want to fetch out of the box, Chris? And,
yes, sure.
Hold that up and
there we go. So you can see it's got all the etching on it is perfect. It has the flip up rear sight.
And that's the first one I've actually seen of that. The ones I've seen usually have the gold lettering in there, yes, with Airsporter in there, but that's flipping amazing.
And it's all the original bluing on it. Nothing's been re-blued or touched up. Yeah, it's probably the finest one I've ever seen. It really is that good.
That is an amazing bit of kit, Chris.
The fact it's still got the rust-proof paper in the box as well, what they put in from the factory, stop them from corroding while they're in storage.
Yeah, the old egg carton type cardboard.
Got the little tube.
Wow.
177 pile-arm pellets. Made in England. And
of course the target holder. I used to have a big collection of them at one time.
Yes. Yeah, it's something that people really didn't use, and obviously in this case it hasn't never been used. Yeah.
Right, what have we have further along here then, Chris?
Right, so we have here
this one that I really like, guys.
Original 50 in .22 caliber. This was manufactured in March 1976. All original air rifles have the date actually stamped on the back of the action, so it says made in Germany.
I don't know if the camera will pick that up, guys, but I can assure you there is a date stamp on there.
Yeah. So this was the earlier one with the shorter underlever.
Yeah.
It has a period ASI scope on, which was from ASI just down the road here in Saxmundham. They were made in Japan in them days. So that was a sort of rival to the Airsporter. Never quite as powerful, but certainly beautifully made, and yeah, they were quite a popular gun. Made to look like a Mauser with a full length woodwork.
You can see the pedigree there with the Mauser type stock on it. Yeah, I really like this one, guys. If you guys don't pop along to the store and get it, this one I'll probably buy. So let's get your skates on. What have we got underneath there?
Right, under here, this is a RWS Diana, same brand. RWS is the same as Diana, as is original, all the same company. This is a 22 caliber. The date on this is 1986, I think, on that one. 85. 0385. So this is a brake barrel, quite heavy duty. The normal ball bearing lock up on the barrel, like all originals. Automatic safety catch on the back. That comes with a beach stock. So this was a rival in its day for the HW80 or BSA Mercury S, and obviously the Webley Vulcan, which again was out at the same sort of time, which is probably the best selling brake barrel air rifle of all time.
Right, guys, I'll take you in close to have a look at these. Look at this, German engineering at its finest. One thing I'll add to Chris, what he's told you, is far more knowledgeable than me. But I will say this, guys, if you purchase one of these old original rifles, RWS Dianas, and you want to tune them or anything like that, do not, under any circumstances, try to play around with the trigger and take the trigger to bits, unless you have an IQ of 1,000, because the ball bearings in there will throw you every time. But, right, what else have we got, Chris?
Right, this is a fairly early one. This is a Webley Hawk brake barrel. No date on this one. I would think that's a Mark II, so that's probably about 73 or 4. Boys gun, really. It's what they used to sell in the catalogues in the day.
Yeah,
and nice little brake barrel. Wasn't quite full power. I suppose it's doing around about 8 to 10 foot-pounds. Very, very robust. Auto safety catch on the back there. Very, very popular rifle. Was a rival for the Meteor.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, they're becoming quite collectible now, because boys would have used them and abused them, and a lot of them got broken up and thrown away. So to have one in this condition is quite a bit of a rarity.
This is an absolute lovely gun there again, guys. Was this like the, how can I put it, like, was the Webley Victor the replacement for this, or was it the Vulcan?
Yeah, I guess so. The Victor sort of came after this, because you had the Webley Vulcan, which we have got a Vulcan. We have got a Vulcan there. This was the game changer, the Webley Vulcan. So this really was the first full power Webley, 12 foot-pounds. It changed everything. It sold in crazy numbers, and I think they were $49.99 when they first came out. So I don't know if we got a date on that one. Well, it says like late 1970s. It would have been about 70, 76, 77, and yeah, they literally sold in their thousands.
Yeah, guys, don't mistake this one for any inferior Turkish thing or it's got the Webley logo on it now. This is the real McCoy type thing.
Yeah,
and
these are made in Birmingham.
Lovely example of British engineering there.
They did a limited edition of this. They made about 100 of them with a walnut stock, with a light coloured walnut stock and a gold plated trigger. And I think the majority of them in 177, but I think we sold the majority of them. But I've never seen one since, so I don't know where they all ended up. But My father sold 100 of these in one day.
Blimey.
That's what John Knight from Webley told me. He was a sales manager at Webley at the time, but it wasn't quite, it was 98 I think. But that's the sort of numbers they were selling in. It was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, best selling product I think Webley's ever had.
Right.
It's a shame they don't make it today because...
indeed. That's a shame they're not made in Britain today as such. Very, very shameful. But what a beautiful rifle. I'll just turn the camera off for a second, guys, and let's see what else we can find. Right, guys, here's another one from Chris. Well, what one's this, Chris?
So here we are. This is a Milbro Diana. After the war, the Germans weren't allowed to manufacture air guns, so the Diana brand name was sold to Millard Brothers up in Lanarkshire, and they made Diana air rifles for quite a period of time, made in Britain. This is one of them. This is one of the very early ones, which is all blued steel and has solid cocking struts underneath, not pressed steel, metal triggers. So that was one of the very first ones they did. That's a model, the G27 in 22 caliber.
Man, that is a lovely gun. It really is.
That's quite a nice, quite nice condition, that. So they're becoming quite rare. They're becoming quite rare now. Lots of Dianas came after that, and the quality just went downhill. And then obviously eventually the Germans were allowed to manufacture air guns again, and Diana wanted to reintroduce guns to the UK, but they couldn't use the Diana brand name because they sold it to Millards. So they said, well, ours is the original Diana, so we'll call it the original.
And now I've learnt something now.
How it came about.
Wow.
And they were marketed by a company called Frank Dyke in London, and they had them up to, I suppose, the early 80s when Diana bought the name back and then marketed Diana air guns again themselves.
Wow. Now I've always wondered why he got the RWS Diana, the original Diana, and the Diana, and now you explain. So I've learned. See, every day's a learning day. I've learned something today.
It's quite amazing, really, because they did sell them for quite a lot of years. Diana. I think they might have run side by side for a while.
So what's the next one underneath?
This little fella is a Webley. This is a Webley Tracker, 22 caliber. Very popular little gun this day because it was very compact and short. Side lever, tap load. This has got a silencer on the end, but they used to come with a little serrated barrel weight.
Yeah.
Webley's used to sell this as a combination with a scope. Again, in all the club books.
Yeah,
John Moore's and Littlewoods used to sell them. Argos even used to sell them in the day. So a very popular little gun. Never full power, never 12 foot-pounds. Suffered a little bit with accuracy from the tap system because the tap systems were never marvellous because the pellet used to sit at all different heights in the tap, so the accuracy was never brilliant with them. But because of its looks and size and price, I mean they weren't expensive, they were very popular.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually one of the guns I've owned from my youth, the Webley Tracker. Yeah, I'm quite familiar with that one. Yeah, excellent, Chris.
So here we've got a few pistols. This one is obviously a Webley Senior in 22. It's a brown grip model. It's one of the earlier ones. This has got the catch on the top. Sorry, it hasn't. It's got the catch on the side on this one. The earlier ones had a catch on the top. Barrel comes right the way over. Pop your pellet in, close down. Never very accurate. Beautifully made. Most of the grips have bits missing off them because they have a lot of Bakelite. Very easy to knock. So they always lost the corners, but this particular one is all intact, which is quite unusual.
That is a very clean gun. Actually.
Yeah, it's a nice little piece. It's not been refinished. It's got a bit of patina on it from years of sitting in a drawer, I should imagine. Yeah. But very collectible, very popular, and Yeah, there's still a fair about. We get quite a lot coming in. Sometimes boxed with all the bits with them.
Yeah. Excellent stuff.
This one is an American gun. This is the Crossman 1322 Classic. It's a pump up, so what you do, you pull the lever out underneath, you pump the air in it, you put 10 pumps in it. You would then open the trap, pop your pellet in the top there, and to cock it, you pull the hammer back like so, put it on the floor and discharge it. Totally recoilless. I suppose they were doing around about 4.5 foot-pounds, maybe a little bit more. I think maybe possibly D2 for the UK market, but very, very popular. It was a totally recoilless gun. They did the 1377 in 177 caliber as well.
Yeah.
You could take this pistol grip off and you could put a rifle stock on it and make it look like a carbine.
I remember that. I remember that one well. Yeah.
That's so, and not expensive. I mean, I can remember them selling in the day for about 30 quid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
They weren't a great deal of money, and so they were the sort of first of the pump-up pistols to
Brilliant.
come out of America.
Right, Chris, this one I'm really
Right,
excited.
here we go. This is the BSA. This is the Scorpion. BSA never made many pistols, but this being the most famous one. Basically, it's a BSA Meteor rifle cut down. This particular one is what they call a recoil model. It was launched, and for some reason, and I don't know, I'll be honest with you, I don't know why they will recoil, whether it was too powerful or if they had problems with them, I don't know. But they recoiled this model, and then I think it was about 8 months later before the next one came out. So this is obviously been bought for somebody, and again it's been used, because you can see on the pellet marks on the target holder. But I should imagine again it was put in the roof and tucked away for many years.
See, this is how I remember the old BSAs coming in with this white polystyrene and the white box.
Yeah, with the white box, and then with the logo on it, and there's no date on this one, but I would think that's sort of early 70s. Yeah.
Once again, guys, this is when BSA made really good rifles. I still rate the rifles BSA made in the 70s and 80s equally comparable to anything the Germans made, and that's something I'll stand by. And eventually, when I get my hands on a Superstar, I'll show you what I mean, because I'll put it up against the TX and an HW77, you'll see what I'm talking about. But wow, I've spent many hours with one of these guns shooting rats at probably 5-6 yards away on an edge of a dike. These were, from what I recall, were very powerful in the day, very close to the legal limit, and yeah, they were perfectly adequate for close range shooting, which I wouldn't say very much nowadays would sort of even suggest that for low quarry shooting, but yeah, in the day they were certainly used as that. And wow, well, thanks very much for that, Chris. What I'll do is I'll run the camera along there and show some of the more modern ones there. As you see, guys, there is a variety of everything there, and down there somewhere we've got a lovely TX 200. And I'll just turn the camera off and I'll show you the other end of the shop, because for you guys who like all the modern stuff, I'll show you what's at the other end of the shop. Right, guys, for you who are wondering, they don't just do the older stuff. See some FXs here, FX Bobcat Mark III, if you like that sort of thing. To me, that looks like something you'd use on Starship Troopers, but each to their own. I won't judge you very much. Got a lovely FX crown there in the polymer or soft, yeah, polymer type stock, and also you've got a BSA R10 there. There's a full length shroud cum moderator, BSA Ultra, and I have no idea what this one is. What is this one at the end here, Chris? That's a HW.
Oh, it's an HW 110.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's a 110.
You threw me because you put up the VFX.
You've just proved your point. They all look the same. I'm looking at that. There wasn't effects.
But yeah, so guys, there are some very nice modern guns there as well. Right guys, back home. I hope you really enjoyed the video. It's quite difficult for me filming literally from the camera holding it as such. I know it sounds daft, but I found that quite difficult. However, wow, what some absolutely beautiful rifles there. Chris tells me that he is going to be getting in quite a few vintage pistols as well as rifles, including the Walther LP53 maybe, and also a selection of vintage Webleys and BSAs. I've got first dibs on the Superstar when they eventually get it in the shop, so that's my price for doing this video, I suppose. But yeah, wow guys, I was so tempted by their original 50, I really was, and indeed the BSA Scorpion. The BSA Scorpion was a contemporary to the BSA Mercury rifle. It was around the same time, and it brought back so many childhood memories of shooting rats at very close range admittedly, but yeah, wow, happy memories all round there. And the original 45 and original 50, well, I learned something today. I now know why the Dianas were called originals, as Chris said. So yeah, happy days there. Any day when you're learning stuff about shooting is a good day as far as I'm concerned. Nice and on the cake was looking at some of them beautiful vintage rifles. There were lots more there. Unfortunately, haven't got them out yet on display as such, but when they do, I'm going to be giving a phone call and I'll take you back to the shop and you can have a look, see all the vintage rifles. I mean, don't get me wrong, they do modern rifles as well, but for me personally, what I liked about it was all the rifles from the 60s, 70s and 80s, the sort of era when I was absolutely gun balmy with my air rifles, and yeah, just happy childhood memories as such, informative years should we say, and that's what got me into shooting. So hopefully you'll enjoy the video, and if you do, you give us a thumbs up, brilliant. If you don't, well, it's up to you. But thanks so much guys, and I just thought I'd take you along for a ride with me. I'm so fortunate in the local area, so many good quality traditional gun shops about still, and I count myself lucky living in a fairly, even though I live in a town, in a fairly rural area, and there's still sort of a strong field sports community, should I say. So yeah, happy days. And with that guys, I'll sign off and cheers, thanks very much.